Friends, we gather together this morning to celebrate the life and to honor the memory of Barry Friedman. Barry's family so very much appreciates your presence here with them this morning, which offers them a great deal of comfort and support. Adonai ma'adam v'teda ehu ben enosh v'chashvehu. O Lord, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? We are like a breath, our days are like a passing shadow. We come and we go like grass, which in the morning shoots up renewed, in the evening it fades and it withers. You cause us to turn to dust, saying, "Return, you mortal creatures." Would that we were wise, that we understood whither we are going. For when we die, we carry nothing away, our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted and behold the upright. They shall have peace. The author of the first of the Bible's 150 Psalms describes for us in language both poignant and succinct the nature of the good life and the fruits of that life. Happy are those who have not followed the counsel of the wicked or taken the path of sinners or joined the company of the insolent. Rather, the teaching of God is their delight, and they study that teaching day and night. They are like a tree planted beside streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, whose foliage never fades, and whose fruit always flourishes. Let us join now together in the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a presence of Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Esa'enai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai osei shamayim va'aretz. I lift mine eyes unto the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. Yea, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian, God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. Kohelet, the author of the biblical book of Ecclesiastes, reminds us that for everything there is a season, a time for every experience under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. We lost a precious individual when Barry Friedman died late this past Friday afternoon, just 3 days after his 76th birthday. Barry fought hard against the illness that assaulted him, fought hard for nearly 7 years, and his valiant efforts and persistence won him several good years, bonus years, that he may not have had he and his cherished wife and partner Flo not poured so much of their energies into this battle. In the end, Barry succumbed, but not before displaying remarkable courage and determination. Barry was born and raised in Euclid. He attended Euclid High School, where he excelled in sports, especially in wrestling, at which he almost won a state championship. Since Barry and his family lived very close to Lake Erie, Barry quickly developed a passion for the water and an expertise in water skiing. He even had a speedboat while he was in high school. After graduating from Euclid High School, Barry matriculated at The Ohio State University. During his senior year, he received a draft notice, whereupon he quickly enlisted in the reserves and spent the next many months in training. Upon completion, Barry decided to finish his degree work at another university. By this time, though, Flo and Barry were married, and Barry wanted to contribute to the family income. So he went to work for the Weatherhead Corporation as an accountant, eventually became the company controller, and remained at that company for 17 years. At this point, Barry and a fellow worker and friend decided to go into business for themselves, opening the Universal Plastics Company in 1980, a company that Barry finally sold just a few months ago. In addition, Barry owned another business, the B&W Company, and he continued to manage this company, now in a much scaled down form, right up to the very end. Now, Barry Friedman was a person of many passions, passions which sustained him, energized him, enriched him, and in turn touched and involved all those who came within his orbit. He was first of all, and now to quote his family, a huge sports fanatic. He loved Ohio State, and he loved Ohio State sports. Every Saturday morning during football season found Barry leading his family in robust marching around the dining room table and singing the Ohio State fight song, stirring himself and them, as I imagine it, to a high pitch of preparation for the game that afternoon. In addition, Barry loved the Cleveland Cavaliers. He and his family had tickets to the games, and his daughters, Laura, Lynn, and Lisa, remember how their father would take them one at a time to a Cavs game. And as a tribute to these two abiding passions and loyalties, Barry's family has placed OSU and Cavs shirts in his casket, as Barry now takes them with him into eternity. In addition to being an avid spectator, Barry continued to excel at sports himself, golf and racquetball in particular. Indeed, Barry's biggest and most abiding commitment was to his family. To his wife of 50 and 1/2 years, Flo. Flo and Barry met on a blind date, and they dated for 1.5 years before they were married. Flo, you said that upon first meeting him, you immediately sensed that Barry was a fine person, dependable, caring, supportive, and how comfortable you felt when you were with him. And in your words, and I quote, "Barry and I grew closer and closer together over the years. We worked so well together, and we had a wonderful marriage," end quote. And we all saw, Flo, how supportive and caring, really how heroic you were during these past many years, and especially during these last difficult months. How you accompanied him to all of his doctor's appointments, stayed with him hour after hour, day after day, during his hospital and his rehab stays, and how you worked so hard to make him comfortable and connected during his last weeks at home. Barry always supported you, and you in turn supported him throughout your marriage, and most especially during his long series of ups and downs over these last weeks and months and years. And how Barry adored and cherished his daughters, his sons-in-law, and his grandchildren. You were all the central focus of his life. He doted on you, protected you, encouraged you. You all remember celebrating holidays together when you were kids, and how when you got married and had children of your own, how those holiday celebrations continued with typical Barry-induced joy. At Pesach, he would pound the table as he and you pounded out Dayenu. He hid the afikomen to the delight of his grandchildren. And he would, from time to time, speed up the reading of the Haggadah and laugh all the way through his antics. These holidays should be fun, he insisted, and not dull or done by rote. And Barry regaled his children and then his grandchildren with his goofy and silly sense of humor. He made up stories like Shuleman, Bootleman, and Solomon. And he often referred to the books that he wrote. How and Why Can't We? Which included, he said, a whole chapter on tomatoes. And the companion volume, How and Why Can We? All of this to the ongoing delight of his family. And Barry evidently slaughtered the English language, sometimes intentionally, sometimes involuntarily. And we will hear more about this in a moment. In addition, Barry loved junk food, and he loved to share this particular passion with his family: candy and ice cream, sweets of all kind. And of course, he loved to make his specialty, popcorn, for his children and his grandchildren. And Barry's deep involvement in the life of his family extended to other family members as well. He took care of his cousin, Harry, for a very long time. Harry had endured tuberculosis as a child, and this left him with a lifelong weakness. And so Barry regularly took him to the doctor, found him a more suitable place to live, helped him to furnish his apartment, and talked often with him. Moreover, Barry took special care of his father in his father's advanced old age. I heard the following story long ago. It touched me then, and it continues to touch me now. It seems that Barry would pick up his father at Myers Towers every morning and take him with him to his office. There, Barry would give him some work to do. Around the noon hour, he would proceed to take his father to McDonald's for one of his father's favorite lunches, a fish sandwich. Then, early in the afternoon, Barry would drive his father back to his residence at Myers Towers. Indeed, our sages tell us that the obligation to honor your father and your mother is one of our most important responsibilities. And this is certainly a responsibility that Barry took quite seriously, though I know that Barry did this as much out of love and gratitude as he did it out of duty. In addition, Barry volunteered as a big brother for 10 years, tending to the needs and expressing care and concern for his little brother. And for his steadfast devotion, Barry was recognized as Jewish Big Brother of the Year. Barry Friedman is survived by his wife Flo, by his daughters Laura, Lynn, and Lisa, by his sons-in-law Michael, Frank, and Bob, by his grandchildren Alex, Abs, Andrew, Maya, Max, Devin, Dawson, and Daxton. By his sister Sylvia, and by his mother-in-law Eudice. By his brothers-in-law Stan and Gary, and his sisters-in-law Betty, Betsy, and Arlene. By his nieces and nephews Gary, Judy, Karen, Cliff, Danny, Aaron, Sarah, Emily, and Katie, and by many friends. Barry's family especially wants to express their appreciation to their friends, their many friends, who helped them and supported them in so many ways during their long ordeal. Barry Friedman lived a rich and a full life. He, along with Flo, raised a wonderful family, doted on them, and devoted themselves to them. And Barry lived to see the flourishing of his family well into their vibrant third generation. Barry touched the lives of many people. Those who loved and admired him will never forget him. Zichrono livracha. The memory of Barry Friedman will always be our blessing. Amen. I now want to call on Barry's daughter, Laura, who will reflect on the life, the qualities, the accomplishments of her father, and she will be accompanied by her sisters, Lynn and Lisa.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. What a roller coaster it's been. I don't think we've laughed and cried so much in such a short period of time. Anyway, we just wanted to take a minute to say a few words about our father. We've had the opportunity over the last few days to reflect on his life. And I'm sorry, I'm reading, and I'm going to flip through this notebook, just like my mom does. But anyway, okay, so we've had the opportunity over the last few days to reflect on his life and our life with him. Well, the last year and a half has really been difficult. It gave us the gift of time and to make peace with the inevitable. While we acknowledge that he was not always the easiest person to deal with, we have a lifetime full of happy memories and lots of laughter. Truth be told, the man really never had a chance living in a house with three very outspoken daughters who never ever hesitated to tell him what we thought, ever. Even with a mandatory male dog, things never balanced out. We were all over him about everything. From the way he ate to how he ate it, what he wore, what he didn't wear, what he said, and how he said it. And that brings us to what we like to call Barryisms. And a Barryism is when he would speak and say something and really butchered the word and had no idea that he did it. So he mispronounced a word and had no idea, and we were laughing at him. Anyway, these are some of our favorites. Instead of hotel, he would say hotel. And instead of the word really, he would say riddy. And Wendy's is Wendy's. And a roller coaster was a roly coaster. And Twizzlers were Fizzlers. And aloe was a loo. And some of us like to eat marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers, and we call them s'mores, but our father called them schmores. He referred to guacamole as guacamole, and the country of Uganda as Ugandi. Just a few, lots of laughs. The three of us had multiple car accidents, unsupervised parties in high school, teepeed houses, mishandled Manischewitz, delinquent teenage boyfriends, missing money and surprise leather coats, college and weddings, and he finally got his 3 sons. No matter what we threw at him, he laughed it off, or he laughed right along with us. He taught us the importance of family. He taught us how to laugh at ourselves, which we're really good at. And he educated us. He loved us unconditionally. We will miss him. We will miss his presence, his humor, seeing him sitting in his favorite chair and yelling at the TV when Ohio State is playing, walking around the neighborhood, calling for deer, and dishing out dessert for his grandchildren. While we wish he was still with us, we are relieved that his struggle with cancer is over and that he is resting at peace. We love you, Dad. Go Bucks and go Cavs. Thanks. Okay.
Barry's grandson, Max, wrote something as a tribute to his grandfather, and Max has asked me to read it for him. I really miss you. I miss the chocolate pudding pie you made us. I wish you were still here to watch the Cavs beat everyone else. You made the best popcorn. I wish you were still here to make it. You told us funny stories. You made great bagels. Last, I really miss you. Max. O God of life, amid the ceaseless tides of change which sweep away the generations, your love remains to comfort us and to give us hope. Around us are life and death, decay and renewal, the flowing rhythm that all things obey. Our life is a dance to a song that we cannot hear. Its melody courses through us for a little while, then it seems to cease. Whence the melody, and whither does it go? In darkness as in light, we turn to you, the source of life and the answer to all of life's mysteries. Will you please rise now for the El Mole Rachamim? El Mole Rachamim shochein bamromim, hamtzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina, im kadoshim tahorim kazohar harakim azhirim, and Nishmat Baruch ben Avram v'chana, shehalach la'olamo, Bala Rachamim Yastireo B'Seter Kanafav La'olamim, V'yitzror Bitzror HaChayim et Nishmato, Adonai Hu Nachalato V'yanuach B'Shalom Al-Mishkavo, V'nomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Barry Friedman, our loved one who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say together, Amen. Will you please be seated? I want to announce that the family of Barry Friedman will receive friends at the Friedman residence at 609 Davidson Drive in Highland Heights. They will receive friends today, immediately following our interment service and until 8 o'clock this evening, and tomorrow, Tuesday, from 1 to 4 in the afternoon and 7 to 9 in the evening. Our service will now continue at Graveside at the Mount Olive Cemetery. Once again, on behalf of the family, thank you so much for your presence here with us this morning.